Hey everybody, I wanted to talk a little bit about weighing yourself. In our society, we have a lot of a pain pleasure link to that darn scale. And, when I began to lose my weight, I actually threw the scale out. I couldn't do it. My husband so wonderfully reminded me the other day of what I used to do. He said, used to get up in the morning, you'd actually be in a good mood, and then you'd jump on that scale, and he says it all went to shit after that. He goes, you would just be so angry and pissy and depressed. And he says, I just hated it. I just wanted to throw that scale out. When I decided to really commit and to lose all of my weight, I knew it was going to take a long time. I was over 100 pounds overweight. And so I figured it was going to take about 2 years. One thing I realized is that I had to change my whole construct about how I had approached things in the past. And one of those things was weighing myself every day. I realized that I had this incredible connection with that scale, and that scale would dictate to me my feelings and emotions for the entire day. If it didn't reflect a number that I thought should be there, I just threw in the towel, and I was just mad and depressed and angry the whole rest of the day. That was not helpful. That did not get me to the goals that I wanted. So what I did is I just forgot about the scale. I would weigh myself, maybe once a month. Actually, for the first several months, I didn't touch it. Just because I knew I had to break that addiction to weighing yourself. The other thing is, people get so upset about that darn scale that, I went up a pound this week, or I went up 2 pounds, or whatever it is. That's water. Unless you're binging on food, you're not going to be putting fat into your body. I used to be a cardiac nurse, and I can tell you, when I would take care of my congestive heart patients, they would come in, and I kid you not, there would be days, we had to keep very close I's and O's, which means what was going in, and we had to make sure what was coming out, and we had to measure everything. The other thing we had to do is we had to weigh them every day. And I would have congestive heart patients come in, and we would weigh them in, they would have their weight done in the morning. And then when I'd come on in the evening shift, I would weigh them, and some of them would be up as much as 40 pounds. Now that's not fat, folks, that's fluid, because the body couldn't handle fluid. But what were they getting? 40 pounds of fluid. You have to understand that water is everywhere. It's in the air that we breathe. It's around us when we take a shower, when we drink. Those kind of things have an effect on our water balance in our body. Water is very heavy. I believe a gallon of water weighs about 8 to 10 pounds. That's 1 gallon. So if you're actually drinking a gallon of water a day, if you started to weigh yourself throughout the day, say you got up in the morning, you weighed yourself buck ass naked, you just peed, that's your baseline weight for the morning. Now go ahead and drink your coffee, drink your water, eat your breakfast, whatever it is that you do, and then go weigh yourself again and see how much you weigh. With all those clothes and that food and that water, and see that you probably went up 3 or 4 pounds. Then go weigh yourself around lunchtime, where you haven't had anything to eat or drink in a while, and you went to the bathroom, and you maybe had a big bowel movement or something like that, and you dropped another couple pounds. And then you weigh yourself in the afternoon, and once again, you're up another 3, 4 pounds, maybe a pound, that kind of thing. Weigh yourself before bed, and bam, you're up 4 pounds. Then you weigh yourself in the morning, and you're back down to where you were before, or you've lost a pound. How does that happen? Again, the scale is a gross measurement. And so it's going to just measure your clothes, your food, your water intake, all of that kind of stuff. The human body is capable of absorbing water from the air. There is air in the water, and it absorbs through the skin. When you take a shower, when you take a bath, you soak. Your skin is one of the most absorptive membranes in the body. And so when you take a shower, you actually gain water weight because that water gets absorbed into the skin. Same thing when you drink water. Water is very heavy. Again, when you are working out and you're working out hard, maybe you haven't been doing certain workouts, whenever you're breaking down muscle, that causes an inflammation in the muscle. Now, inflammation means it's inflamed. So that means it's going to bring external water into that muscle cell and expand that cell because it's inflamed, and that's also going to cause excess water weight. You know, this is such an important issue because people predicate their entire lives on that stinking number on the scale. I say chuck the darn thing. It is not worth it. Find other ways to measure your accomplishment. And again, if you want to do an in-body, even that you only want to do maybe about once every 2 weeks or so, where you're doing an actual composition testing, because it takes a little while for the body. If you're doing a really intense muscle thing, it takes a little while for the body to actually build that muscle up and drop those fat levels. But you'll see where the water's at. So that's a good thing with the in-body composition testing. If you're going to do measurements, only do your measurements once every 2 weeks, because what you'll find is that there's usually a pattern where maybe you haven't lost any weight on that darn scale, but you'll drop 5 friggin' inches. That's amazing because you're changing the shape of your body. And it's not that fat weighs more than muscle, folks. I'm sorry, a pound is a pound is a pound is a pound. It's just fat takes up more space. It's voluminous, where muscle is very lean and it's small. So when you take your measurements, you're actually seeing that, oh, gee, you actually lost fat, but maybe it's not showing up on the scale because maybe you're retaining some water in some ways. So the scale is just one of those things that I'm just like, throw the damn thing away. It does you no good. Utilize how your clothes fit, how you feel. Those are much better ways, because in order to lose weight long term, you have to be consistent. Consistent. Day in, day out. Day in, day out. Day in, day out. That's how you end up with the body that you want. It took me 2 years to lose 100 pounds. There would be months, 3 months, I can remember one time that I didn't drop a single pound. And I was like strict keto. Did not lose a single pound. And then bam, 10 pounds would just fall off. But I was losing inches. Go figure. You know, so I was happy with that. I felt good. And that's what I was using as my outcome goals, is those types of things. So the more you get focused on just one data point, one way of measuring your success, you're going to suffer. You're going to feel awful when you do those things. So just be sure that if you're going to utilize that, I want you to weigh yourself 5 times a day. If you're really that serious about that scale, I want you to be very scientific about it. I want you to see that, oh, well, I take in, 40 ounces of water and I eat, toast and eggs. When I weigh myself, I'm up 3 pounds. When I take my jacket off and I have a bowel movement, I'm down 2 pounds. Okay, I want you to be very scientific about it. And that way you're going to see this absolute trend in your body where you're just like, up, down, up, down, up, down. But over time, if you're continuing to eat properly and correctly and sticking with your hunger signals, you're going to see this downward trend. Now, another thing with weight is that, everybody's like 1 to 2 pounds is healthy. Who comes up with that stuff? I'm sorry, but it's like, I know people that can drop 20 pounds in a week. I know people that can gain 20 pounds in a week. I know people that can drop 5 pounds one week and have nothing come off for the next 3 weeks. And then bam, drop 10 pounds. I know people that'll drop maybe half a pound in a month. Do you see the point? Everybody is different. Everybody is different. As long as you're making progress and you feel like your relationship with food has changed, and you feel like things are actually happening and moving and changing in your life, those are progression steps, and you will see the weight release. You will see that weight come off. I really feel this is an important issue, because we get so tied to that darn scale that we forget all of the positive changes. That scale is actually quite hypnotic, because you're so focused on it and you're imagining that that scale is telling you your self-worth. It's a scale, people. It's a tool. If you have that kind of connection with the scale, that it's telling you your self-worth, we need to break that connection, because that should have absolutely no bearing on your life. I get it though. I get it. You want to see the numbers come down, but find other ways of getting that number to correlate with the positive changes that you're making and create a new and powerful anchor in your life. All right? Chuck the scale. It's not worth it. Continue on your journey, because it's those tiny progressions, that day in, day out consistency, that's going to get your results. All right? Happy trails, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.